Hey everybody, Dr. Oliver here for backintelligence.com, and today we're going to go over a self-posture check test. It's mainly for the upper body, but if you're at home working on your posture or you want to see if you have any issues, this is a good way to check yourself, and it's a good way to gauge how you're doing with things. So it's called a wall angel test. It's pretty simple to do. All you need is a wall. And we're going to have Leon go through it. We're going to point out some different things that may go wrong and some things that may be tight and things that you should ultimately probably be focusing on and working on. So you're going to start leaning against the wall and your feet are about a foot or so off the wall. From there, you're going to try to assume the position of a wall angel. So you're going to be about 90 degrees at your elbows here, and you're going to try to assume a flat position. So you basically want everything in contact with the wall. You want your head in contact with the wall, you want your rib cage in contact with the wall, and you want your pelvis in contact. The things you're going to look out for would be if your rib cage, especially here, were way off the wall. If you could slide in a big hand in there, that's not good. You want to get that rib cage down. So we're trying to assess to see, do you have the mobility to assume this position? So again, ideally our arms are flat against the wall, our head's in a good, nice neutral position, and ideally we can get our wrists to touch the wall with our fingers. Very difficult for most people to do, but that's the goal, is to achieve success on this. And you'll see Leon, for instance, his right hand and right arm are much better than his left here, and he just has more tension. So we'll talk about these different things. But the first things you should look at is your position. So we want to think about our rib cage here. Make sure that touches the wall. Your low back can be off a little bit. If you feel that off, that's fine. But we're really looking at this region here. Your rib cage is touching the wall. Your shoulders are touching the wall, and your head's touching the wall. The head position is crucial on a lot of people. You'll see people that lack mobility actually extend backwards. So yep, just like Leon's doing there, you'll see that he gets an extended position because he really doesn't have the mobility. Well, that's due to your suboccipitals, which are the muscles on the back of your head there being too tight. Perhaps it's your SCM on the front from sitting, postures and that sort of thing. So if you can't get back to the position with your head against the wall without extending, then you know you have areas to work at in your neck. The other thing to look at here is the shoulder position. So if your shoulders are really rounded forward, and Leon's pretty good here, he's off a tiny bit, but if you were really like round forward, that's because of a variety of things. He could be tight in his pecs, could be pulling him forward, so you probably have to do a lot of soft tissue to open that up. Or his thoracic mobility isn't good enough to get him into extension. So reference back to the videos that we have on increasing thoracic mobility. There's a variety of ways you can do that to work on this. Then that last thing, that really hard thing to do, is get that wrist against the wall. Really flatten it out while your hand's flat. It's usually due to mobility within your shoulder and usually your subscapularis muscle. So you're going to want to work on self-releasing that as well at home. You can use the ball and you can just try to release those muscles. So use this test as a way to gauge how you're doing with your posture. And ultimately, you can turn the test into an exercise. So you can try to assume these positions for a variety of time throughout the day. You can also work on wall angels, which will add some movement into it. But again, this is more of a test than anything to see, can you maintain that good position and do you have the mobility to do so? If you don't, you got different areas that you can work on, whether it be the pecs, whether it be the subscapularis, the thoracic spine, the neck, they're all part of this position. And just look at yourself, have someone maybe take a picture of you, set up your camera, get in the position if you can. And if you can achieve it, awesome. But if you can't, which most people can, especially people at a computer, you know what you have to work on.
All right, thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give us a like as well as subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Now, if you'd like to get 3 video exercises that we've done with Dr. David Oliver that will help you to correct some of that forward head, those rounded shoulder, that kyphosis that we're all suffering from today because we're looking down at our phones, we're hunched over our computers all day. So these exercises are meant to correct your posture. So if you'd like to get them, they're completely free. There's going to be a link to get them somewhere here on the video or down below in the description. Just go to that page, enter your email, and we'll send you those videos right away.